Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We are talking about some Weequay pirates, and we are also talking about the infamous Hondo Naka. Yes, my friend, we're going to have a great time talking about this wonderful stuff coming to Star Wars Legion in Quarter 1 2026. Well, should we do the whole video in this voice? I don't think we're going to do it, no. But maybe someday, maybe when he comes out, let me know in the comments if when we get our next Hondo article, if I should do the whole video in Hondo voice. Yes or no, let me know either way. Because, we get enough, or maybe I should put up a poll and we can do like a whole thing if I should do that or not. But let me know if you want a poll to see if we should do it. Because, who knows? It might be a challenge. I might have a sore throat afterwards. So at Adepticon 2025, we got a lot of things to talk about, but one of those things that I haven't talked about in detail yet is Hondo Anaka and the Weequay Pirates. This is coming early, 2026, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more detail in this video. Also, if you guys haven't already, make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. That's going to enter you to win that $25 Amazon gift card giveaway that we have going on right now. So if you're already subscribed, you're halfway there, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Hondo, if you're excited about this, if you're excited about Shadow Collective finally getting a little bit of love. We're going to talk about that. So what are we getting in this pack, right? You're getting Hondo, you're getting Weequay Pirates. They have an Electro Staff, right? So they're going to have some melee options. Basically, they're described as being kind of a mercenary unit that can go into most but not all factions. Like Shadow Collective can get them, but they just said it might not be able to go in every faction. At least when they talked about it, it sounded like they were still deciding on certain factions, but they said they should be similar in some ways to how the Pikes can go into just about every faction. So that sounds like a really fun thing for these guys. Hondo himself will also be a mercenary, although he will not be able to go into the Shadow Collective. And so that's an interesting thing about how Hondo will work with everyone except for Maul, right? So it's a very cool thing. It also really is a very thematic microwave. Not a microwave as in you put your food in there, but a wave because you're getting two things. We have a tank to talk about too that is going to be coming with this, which is a very exciting thing. So so the Weequay Pirates and Hondo, if you want to use Hondo in Shadow Collective, you'll have to run him as a generic. He can become a leader unit for these guys. So you can run him as a generic. So there's actually going to be possible need to have more than one Hondo miniature in case you wanted to kind of build one as more of a generic and build one more as like the grand Hondo. And it's fortunate that there may be some use for that because they have also talked about Hondo potentially coming early in Quarter 3 or fall, I should say, fall of 2025 with the Hobby Next program. Now, they haven't given us a tremendous amount of detail with that, but the last time we've seen Hobby Next stuff talked about, it was usually some kind of pre-order bonus where, like, to encourage you ordering stuff from your local stores. And so if you pre-order these, there's a chance you may be able to get an extra early version of Hondo. So you can get Hondo himself and you can get him painted up. Might even be a different sculpt, or if Hondo has multiple options, then you can look at building them different ways and to build one to be more of a generic pirate captain and one to be more Hondo. And then you can have some fun with that. So look for more information on that. And then we will, then we'll see. Of course, I'll be talking to you about it when it gets revealed, because it sounds like a fun thing. Although it could kind of be, a fear of missing out thing, especially if it's like a limited edition thing. I know they did this with Ahsoka for Star Wars Shatterpoint and gave you Ahsoka early, like Padawan Ahsoka early. But she did fully come out in the later expansion, so it was, if it's something early, I don't really have a problem with it. If it's something exclusive that only a couple of people per store are going to get, then that's when the feels bad kind of comes in. So, it depends on how they roll it out, but in the past they've done it pretty well. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let's talk about Hondo a little bit because he's going to be pretty interesting. Now, this whole unit is described as having pretty low courage, but Hondo himself is going to be a very interesting character who's going to have stats that vary very wildly based on the number of pips in the command card that you have played. And so that's a really fun one. He's got this ability called My Mood is Based on Profit, which is a really fun one. He's got X's all over his card. Let's zoom in and get a little closer there. So Hondo looks fun, but I will point out that while we are looking at this, and there's a lot of information here, this is one of the things that highlights why I don't like the new card redesign, because we only get half the information. We don't know the points. We can't see the upgrades, and I'm actually really interested in what kind of upgrades come on here, because he has Arsenal X. And that is a very interesting one, because it means, like, does he also have, like, a weapon keyword? Can he potentially get another weapon? Does he have a 1-pip that might have a permanent effect to give him another weapon? I don't know how it's all going to work. I'm really hoping he has more than just these 2 weapons, because some of his command cards kind of seem like he could actually be really good if he had a little bit better melee. But as it stands right now, his melee is not that great. So I am really curious how all of this is going to work. I'm hoping he's got some interesting upgrade slots. I just wish we could see it, because as a content creator, and when you want to talk about previews and things like that, when they just show you this, it's a really difficult kind of commentary, because there's so much more guesswork that has to go in. Well, if he has a grenade, then that would be cool. Or if he has a hard point or a weapon. Oh, or if he has, who knows? Maybe he's got a force upgrade slot, right? Probably not. But yeah, so let's talk about what we do know. He's a mercenary. Hondo himself, can go into the Empire, the Rebels, the Republic, and the Separatists. Not Shadow Collective, and not Bright Tree Village, noticeably. He has Arsenal X, and all of the X keywords you're going to see are because of the ability, my mood is based on profit. X is going to be equal to the number of pips on your command card. Now, it was said that it could be any command card, so they even pointed out standing orders would work, which would make this a 4, potentially, so you could potentially get 4. However, that's an interesting thing. It didn't say that it had to be Hondo's specific command card. So until we see the rule spelled out in exactly, that's kind of what we have to go on. Sometimes when AMG personnel are talking about these and promoting them, sometimes they make a little mistake or a grammatical error. So or maybe the rules will have changed between now and then. So it may be possible that it has to be a Hondo specific command card. If so, that would be really bad, because if you play anybody else's command card, then all of those X's would be 0, right? So I have a feeling it's going to be exactly like they said. Whatever command card you get played, that's the number. Which means Hondo won't pair well with Han Solo. If Han shoots first, then you have like a 0 pip, because then all of a sudden Hondo is like, he's terrible. What would Arsenal 0 mean? Would Arsenal 0 mean that he can't use any weapons at all when he attacks, right? Like, some really interesting stuff could happen if X equals 0 and you pair Hondo with Han Solo. So I don't know, but let's look at the rest of his stuff. He has disengage, which makes sense. He's kind of that. He has this really cool cowardly aspect to him, or maybe I should say self-preservation aspect to him. He has independent dodge X, so he can end up getting a lot of dodge tokens. If you do standing orders or a 3-pip or whatever, he can get quite a few of those. He has nimble. He has reliable X. Now notice that he is a white defense and no surge. He only has 5 health. His courage is also X, so he can panic very easily if you have suppression tokens on you. And gosh, if you have, again, if you play a 0-pip, I don't know. He doesn't have any. I don't think he would panic instantly. But yeah, if you play a 0-pip, then does a single suppression put you in panic? Because technically, a single suppression would be maybe my mood is based on profit would have a minimum of 1. Right? I think that would probably make the most sense, because if it ever equaled 0, then you would always have an amount of suppression equal to your or double. Or even triple or quadruple or times 100 of your courage value, right? So hopefully my mood is based on profit has a minimum value of 1. But yeah, that's an interesting part. Reliable X is going to be good because he has no surge, and then Uncanny Luck X, which is really fun, allowing you to reroll defense dice, which is, again, very, very appropriate for a guy like Hondo Onaka, not Onakwa. I was reading Weequay is cunning, and I think the words in my brain just kind of melded together. It happens sometimes. Now, he does have 2 weapons. He's got a Hondo Blaster, which is range 1 to 2, and it's 3 black dice and 1 white die, and it's versatile, which is nice. So if you're stuck in a melee, you can still shoot out with one of those. You know, it's just a fun thing. He has Weequay's Cunning, which is also a pretty cool one. It's melee to range 1, and it's 3 dice, which is interesting. And I just don't understand the name there. Like, what is that meant to represent? His Cunning, is it like, is he talking his way out of something? Maybe it's like a funny scene where he's just like, "Oh, before you kill me, you must step right over here," as a, you know, as a little monkey. Maybe it's his little maybe it's his little monkey lizard that's like, you know, loosening a screw above, and then like the pipe comes down and like hits somebody in the head, you know, or something like that. I don't know. It's like, it sounds fun. I don't know, but we'll see how that works out. He is speed 2. He only has 5 health, so he's not going to stick around for too long. But between the dodges, the reliable, nimble, and uncanny luck, and you know, he might be able to, he might have some survivability. He could be very swingy, right? And so that sounds fun. So if somebody plays a 1 pip, that's definitely your time to go after him. And I'm really curious what his 1 pip is going to look like. I'm kind of hoping it has a permanent effect, so you kind of want to do it early when it, you know, but then risk maybe him getting shot by like snipers or something like that. But I'd love to, maybe his 1 pip will like upgrade or give him an extra weapon or something. I don't know, because again, Arsenal X, when you only have 2 weapons, seems like, man, I could go higher than that. I don't know. It's an interesting one, or maybe you'll have a grenade slot or something. I'm not sure. He has That's Just Good Business for his 2 pip. It's Hondo Anaka and 1 unit. So let's talk about these command cards a little bit. So this one says, this round, Hondo Anaka cannot be suppressed or panicked and may perform a free move action during his activation. The first time Hondo Anaka moves into melee with an enemy unit this round, after the move is resolved, Hondo Anaka removes all suppression tokens on him, and the enemy unit gains the tokens removed. Then, this is nice, right? Then that enemy unit removes all green tokens on them, and Hondo Anaka gains the tokens removed. So he's a token thief. He's moving right into melee with somebody. And maybe I'm looking at this one all wrong, because this is the one that makes me think, boy, if he's only got 3 die in melee, it's like, you know, okay, maybe it's more about the stealing of tokens, right? But like if you have a bunch of aims, like if he's going up against clones and they've stacked a few aims or something like that, you know, Rex is moving around, or, you know, something cool is happening, you know, and you're thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, but he's not going to be able to do that much damage. Maybe it's not about doing damage, because again, he does have disengage. So maybe that's the thing, is maybe he has the option to punch, but maybe he's just like, oh, in second thought, you know, I'm just going to take this and slip away. Which is, it's just a weird thing. It's such a weird card to me. And I feel like it could be played multiple different ways, because we're very used to combat units kind of going in and attacking. If you, it's something, especially something that allows you to move into melee, it usually is like, it's great. You might see that with a unit that has charge or something like that. He gets that free move, but then he could disengage and just move away. It's very interesting to me. So you know, that's a fun one. So yeah, but it's also point out that his stealing of tokens is only the first time he moves into melee, because again, if he's disengaging, he could, like, if he was stealing from everybody, he could go boop 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 boop. You know, well, not that many boops, but you know, he could do 3 boops potentially. You know, boop boop boop, which would be really wild. Well, I think when you disengage, you can't move into another melee, so you could maybe do 2 boops. You know, but still, pretty cool card. It's interesting, and I think it's flexible too. It's still a 2 pip. It's still him and another unit, and it's still doing a free move. So even if you don't use it to steal tokens, it's still getting you mobility, and that's a good thing. I don't know if it's as good as some of the other 2 pips out there, but since it opens up the door to either dump suppression, steal tokens, or get a free move, or any combination of the 3, because you can do all of those, I think you got some options there. So it could be cool. I think it'd be better if he has like a weapon slot, and then there's like a pirate sword that he can also hold, or something like that. Would be a kind of a cool thing that would make it a little bit better. Speaking of pirate swords, there's the arch stories, so many of them true. Hondo Anaka. This round, when an allied unit begins its activation on the battlefield within range 1 of Hondo Anaka, if he has a face-up order token and he's not panicked, Hondo Anaka may gain a suppression token. If he does, the activating unit gains an aim token, a dodge token, or a surge token. So this is a kind of a fun one. This one, I feel like for this one to shine, it needs a whole lot of tech. So I will say I'm not crazy about this one. For one, it's a 3-pip that only issues 1 order. Not my favorite. Definitely not my favorite there, because it's already starting on a deficit. Typically, a 3-pip should issue 3 orders at least. But okay, it also requires that you have a lot of people close together, which is another requirement. So again, it's already kind of 2 points down. And so this also works if he has a face-up order token and he's not panicked. So again, if you're playing a 3-pip, that means he's going to have courage 3. If he's not panicked, you can potentially get up to 6. Right? You can have up to 6 other units. I'll get free aims off of this. I like this. Seems like it'll be good in Empire potentially. It seems like it could be good with anybody who, anybody who's got good aim tech. There's dodge tech that's out there. I don't know if the surges will be taken as much. Aims are usually a little bit better than a surge, but if you've already got aims, that it's cool to have. It could work really well in a clone list. Again, just making sure that all those tokens are all the way around. So you could do a lot here. He could also potentially give your entire army stuff if you've got like Inspire, if you have things that can get rid of suppression tokens. But you're not going to get 6. All right, you're not going to get 6. Somebody will take a shot at Hondo. Somebody might take a suppressive shot at Hondo. He's going to very quickly run out of the ability to do much with this, and you might even find that you don't get to activate him at all after you do this. So it's got potential, but I think it needs tech. It needs you to have having him kind of like hidden from enemy shots and everybody's out there. And that kind of, it's thematic if it works, right? Because he's like, oh, I'm going to lead you guys all to glory, but I'm going to kind of stay safe. You guys go ahead and fight the battle. And then once, and he's inspiring everybody while he does it. It's a very thematic card. I don't know if it's great, but it feels so like it would work so differently in different factions that it could be really fun. So I guess we'll have to wait and see, but it's very cool. Now, that's Hondo. We don't have too much about, what upgrade cards he's going to have or what his 1-pip is going to do. But we do know that the Weequay Pirates are going to do pirate things. They have, a low courage, and they're, obviously will work with Hondo a little bit, which is a fun thing. I can't wait to see their cards as well. We do know a little bit about the big heavy that's going to be coming with them. The WLO-5 speeder tank is going to be a budget tank that is also coming to the Weequay Pirates. This is going to be a fun one. This is also going to be able to be part of the Shadow Collective. This is a fun one. This is Shadow Collective have been without a tank, which is exciting. Long time ago they were supposed to be getting the Raider ATST, and that didn't work out, and so they ended up they've just got this WLO speeder tank coming to them, which is exciting, and it's going to have a lot of different ways that you can use it. There's different gunner options. Your Black Sun can run this, your Pikes can run this, the Conehead Alien can run this, and you can do a lot, or you can have Weequays run this. So you got like 4 different gunner options. So get your magnets ready. So that's gonna be a fun one. It's been described as a budget tank that should be a little bit of a glass cannon. I don't expect this one to be 2 points heavy. I don't expect it to have too much armor. I'm guessing like maybe armor 2 or 3, something like that, for something like this. But maybe I'll have barrage. It doesn't seem to visually have that much firepower. You have the one main gun, and then you have like a gunner sitting on the side. So maybe Arsenal 2 or barrage or something like that. Maybe different gunners give it different options. I'm curious about the gunner option there. Is it going to be, is Black Sun going to give it, is it more of a thematic thing? Like, hey, I'm running a Black Sun list, I want a Black Sun gunner. Or is that tied to an upgrade? I'm guessing it's going to be tied to an upgrade, but it is possible just to have thematic options in there, and I think that's a cool thing. I'm a big fan of Black Sun as a clan, as a faction, as a kind of a theme of like I want more Black Sun units, and so I'm excited about that. This looks pretty fun. It looks like it'll be a fun thing to go with. We haven't seen its unit card yet. We don't know every faction that this can go into either. Presumably, it will be mercenary and able to go in certain factions, although perhaps not all. Be really interesting, though. I wonder if, like, the Empire would be like, you know what, we don't want to hire a tank like that. We've got better stuff, you know, and be interesting to see. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Hopefully we'll have more information before they announce the next mini extravaganza, more information on the Hobby Next program, how all of that is going to work, and it'll be fun. It'll be real interesting to see. Stay on the lookout for more news about Hondo and the Weequay Pirates, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this whole channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all, and always wash your socks.